It's been a while since we've actually done this podcast, so it's gonna be.
I think
it's
that's
been
a perfect way to start it too. It's been a while since we've been doing this. How do we start this again? Oh, I think we just did.
yeah, we just. It's been like I think 6 months since we've done any type of videos for.
What was our
for
name
the,
again?
Oh yeah, I don't know. We had it one thing, changed to another, so we've just been busy. That's it. We've just been busy with life and work, and we
Cinema
actually have real
Champloo.
lives and a job. So it's just
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
it's kind of
It's
hard to.
important to keep track of in this day and age.
Yeah.
Your job.
So lots of things have been happening since we've been gone. Like we've pretty much, oh my God, there's been deals going on between studios. Like one studio is buying another studio.
Yep.
We have new projects for Star Wars that are out and coming soon, like in May, and then also later on as well, 2027. There's just so much stuff to talk about.
Skynet is coming for Hollywood.
Skynet's calling for Hollywood. It's just it's just a good time right now. We're in the good timeline.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the bad place.
It's a work in progress. The
work in
timeline
progress.
continues, and if James Cameron has his way, we'll have multiple sequels and
Oh God,
spin-offs, and
the
then
spin-off
the timeline
age.
will change, and then
I don't know how many reboot trailers I've seen in the
Yeah.
past month for so many different television shows from the 80s,
Potter.
90s. Harry
Harry Potter coming back.
He-Man.
I'm not actually impressed with He-Man.
I don't even care.
I've never watched it, but all right.
I remember watching some reruns of that, but I
I
never
hope it's a good
really.
movie.
We always try to find time to sit down and talk about the current stuff that's going on in theaters and movies because we love movies so much.
Yeah.
And we're
Hopefully
nerds
they'll
at
give
heart,
you a
so
four.
there's a lot of stuff happening with Lucasfilms and Disney. Disney's been making rounds of news with new projects and layoffs and a whole bunch of other stuff going on for generative AI. One thing I think we did talk about that we were super stoked last time about Star Wars was Maul.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I finally was able to sit down and watch it. At least right now, while we're recording this, the first 4 episodes have been out. It should finish up. They're doing 2 episodes per week, and it should be finished up by May 4th. So by the 4th of May.
Yeah.
So so far, how have you watched it?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, of course you have.
My look, as you get older, you have to recognize it's not good to be addicted to your niche of cinema.
Yeah.
Responsibilities and all that. But I have missed. This is to say, I have missed that feeling of George Lucas Star Wars. Not to say that Andor wasn't great. Andor,
Andor was
I
fantastic.
said this. I think the last time we met, it's like a year ago or whatever.
No, it's not been a year.
No, I know, I'm exaggerating. Andor, that first season did not hit for me, especially with the weekly format that they wanted to go with. Season 2, midway through, really ratcheted it up and brought back that sense of urgency that George Lucas brought to the rebellion and
Right.
to the Empire, right? Their need for control. It started out very bureaucratic, very slow, but that was a necessary vibe to establish. Maul, on the other hand, Maul establishes or reasserts itself as, hey, don't you remember the mysticism of the Jedi and the Sith?
That is
now
true.
let's bring that in to the bureaucratic
Yeah.
empire and how that conflicts, right?
No, there was
It's been missed. I'm looking forward to it. The speculation that I think she was George Lucas's final creation, Darth Talon.
Yeah.
That is the unconfirmed rumor.
Her name's
that's where
Devin
they're
in the
going.
show.
Yeah.
Or Davin in the show,
Yeah,
I think.
Devin.
Davin something.
And they've changed it too. Like I read when I was a kid, I read the EU comics, the Star Wars Legacy comics, and Darth Talon was heavily involved. She was a love interest of Luke Skywalker's great grandson. She was just as old too. She was relatively older than Cade, I think was his name. But then Lucas wanted to insert her as Darth Maul's apprentice in what would have been his episode 7, 8, and 9,
Yeah.
which Disney scrapped.
As far as I'm concerned, this is like 1 year after Order 66. So this is still fresh Maul after he fights Ahsoka and escapes, and then Davin is still a survivor Jedi along with her apprentice or her master, who's kind of like this old turtle. This dude.
Yeah. I'm forgetting his name.
I'm forgetting his name. But either way, I think it's interesting that you bring up the mysticism part. I think one thing that Andor did pretty well was bring back the diplomacy aspect of Star Wars. Like, hey, this is a government. This is like a group of people.
It's a crumbling government.
It's a crumbling government.
republic.
They're nervous. They're nervous how things are turning. But you would always see kind of how the beginnings of the rebellion started, how they were able to find the money and the leaders to start building this rebellion, and then the courage to actually start planning and acting. Yeah. This was kind of also a return to form for the mysticism of the dark side, and with Maul, because Maul has honestly, I think, eclipsed whatever Phantom Menace showed in the initial phase for him. Yeah. He in Clone Wars was so expanded and done so well that he became one of the most favorite characters of all characters. Not probably as favorite as Darth Vader, obviously, but he is just up there. He is one of the up there from the Clone Wars era, and to see him come back in this new serious tone, which honestly, when I saw this, I was kind of like, this is kind of how Boba Fett should have been.
Yes.
Because
the Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett. If Boba Fett was going back to Tatooine to take over the syndicates and over the Hutt's world, I would have loved to see him kind of plan and get each of these guys to fight one another, so that he could start slowly taking power and getting them to be under his boot.
Like, you don't see, I don't know why they went that route, but I don't see Darth Maul saying, "I'm gonna rule my syndicate through honor." Or through goodness, right? Which was an about face for Boba Fett. I in the EU, however you want to interpret it, eventually he becomes a bit more heroic. He stays an anti-hero for a good part of it, but I wanted them to keep that anti-hero element of Boba Fett, not some dude walking around. And this isn't Tamora Morrison's fault. He
Oh no, absolutely not.
I'm echoing what he would say. They made him too nice. Like, I'm gonna rule with respect. Okay, you can go there. I earned respect, or I'm gonna beat the shit out of you and take my respect. That's who we all understood Boba Fett to be.
Yeah.
Maul, you can't do it any other way.
No.
You can't go, oh, I'm gonna go, feed the homeless, which is great, but that's a Jedi thing. That's not what Maul would do.
No, his whole thing is, how can I start slowly taking power? Because that is what Sidious kind of raised him to be as a Sith. And he's looking for that way after the death of his brother, after losing his mother, which he mentions too. There's a great scene in there where he's kind of trying to manipulate Davin, and he goes into darkness, and he's doing his great monologue. Yeah. Sam Witwer, by the way, is just such a fantastic actor. He's such a great voice.
Did you see? I'm sorry, I had to cut you off because I know I'm going to forget it. I'm getting old. It's not so much a spoiler. It's somewhat of a rumor, and it's not my fault. I wouldn't spread this shit if it wasn't already out there. One of the writers from Rebels recently in an interview was asked, are we going to see more of Darth Maul? Does this mean that is he dead? Because they were referring to the fight scene between him and Obi-Wan Kenobi in, I think, season 2
I remember
of
that
Rebels,
whole conversation
that they fought.
Yeah.
And he did not say that Maul is dead. He very much so left it open. I don't know if you know this, that he may not be dead. And which confused me too, because I was okay.
So I was pretty sure he slashed him down the chest.
Well, I didn't see, and that was, I think, done intentionally, because what you hear from the cut, and again, I'm speculating from what I watch, right? Others, I've heard some say, yeah, he was cut down the chest, but I saw that as what Obi-Wan did was he cut the blade, he cut the staff down the middle, And so in cutting that, that's when you see that red burst. It's the crystal, or one of the crystals of his lightsaber blowing up under the lightsaber. And what Maul succumbs to is death from exhaustion, because he's held on to that rage for so long, right? He's old. He's much older. Like he's
Oh, he's
essentially
old.
on par with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I don't think the Zabrak
in terms of age.
He's Zabrak, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Zabrak lived to be like 200 years
No,
old.
they
live
not
like human
not
years.
that I know of.
Yeah.
But so it's essentially an old man that they call him the Old Master, right? Against Obi-Wan Kenobi, elderly. He's been wandering the desert for like what 3-4 days by himself, dehydrated as hell. He finally releases all of that rage that he's carried on for like 50, 60 years, and he just collapses.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a perfect ending. Like he finally lets go, and he tells Kenobi, you know, is he the chosen one that you're protecting, right? And then he fades.
He says yes.
For them to turn that into, oh no, he's going to be revived for what they're continuing. I'm mentioning this because in one of the little interviews that you'll see on YouTube, Sam Witwer had his face painted with Maul's tattoos.
Right.
And he's not doing motion capture, he's doing lines, but he has the prosthetics on. So there is some speculation that they're going to be bringing him back in some way. I'm not
Wait, do
saying
you think
they're
Sam
bringing him
Witwer's going to
alive.
be doing the live action version
Yes.
of and not they're not going to bring back I'm sorry, what was it?
Ray Park.
Ray Park. They're not gonna be- That's a move.
Yeah. Again, it's not like confirmed, but
There's just rumor.
You don't even have to read the tea leaves. You just have to look at what is said and what is shown, and then go, wait, but ...
From what I understood
You know?
from Rebels, it was like yes, he was there. He was exhausted, obviously walking through the desert, and he tried doing the old trick he did to Qui-Gon,
Qui-Gon, yeah.
and he and Obi-Wan knew that trick instantly.
Was
He was
coming.
smarter. He was more restored. He's been
He
you know.
brought him into that stance.
Right, but that
He mimicked
slash,
it.
that initial slash, Dez obviously cut in half, but it also slashed him on his chest. I was just laughing because I was thinking it wouldn't be hilarious if they slashed him in half and then slashed him
Yeah,
down the
yeah,
midway.
well.
Oh my god, this guy just comes back again.
You know what the answer to that is?
Hmm.
Disney needs to make more money, and so they're bringing back Darth Maul.
You know what I think it is?
Every time the franchise needs to be revitalized, just bring back Darth Maul.
No, you know what? I genuinely,
Revive somebody.
I genuinely think what it is the stuff that's been going on with the sequel trilogy, and they're kind of starting to rebuild everything before New Hope again, and then potentially even stuff after Rise of Skywalker. They're just trying to rebuild a new type of canon that kind of skews away from the sequel trilogy, which I'm fine with. But like for instance with Maul has so much time in between, New Hope and after he leaves Ahsoka and escapes that we just have not explored. Is it obviously a cash grab? Yeah, of course. Do I love the character? Of course I do. So I would love to see all these new types of stories under him and trying to overthrow the Empire in any way he can and then constantly losing. Yeah. Maybe he even clashes with Vader at some point. I have no idea. That'd be interesting to watch.
Well, that was
the go-to.
Well, there was a leak recently. Spoiler if you don't want to listen to this part. Someone in the art department at Lucasfilm, they leaked the posters that they release every week with each episode. I guess they do.
Right.
And one of them is Vader.
Ooh.
One of them, I haven't seen it yet, but I have watched some clips of them going like, yeah, these are that. Like Dryden Voss from the Solo film.
Right.
I think he's in one of the posters. And
for the actual...
For the Shadow Lord.
The Shadow. Or the Sun, whatever they're called. No, I'll be honest, I do like this show. It was a lot better than... The animation is fantastic for this as well. Yeah. It really is
some places
a next level of what Clone Wars animation was. And I do feel a very cinematic feel for how they do all the color panels, a lot of great colors, a lot of great visuals and animation. So I am curious because I don't know how they developed all of that, but it just looks very beautiful and very well done. For when they go into dark and light, and I guess we can go into spoilers for this because it's like, why not? But when he does try to convert Davin or try to convince. You've been propagandized against me,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm just trying to get to understand where I'm coming from.
I thought the Jedi are all about open dialogue. Why are you closing me off?
Yeah, why are you closing me off, man? You know,
Yeah.
I'm just misunderstood.
No, I actually view that. I don't know that they're gonna go full on Darth Talon. Obviously not. By the end of this season, because they were
Isn't
already
she red as a Twi'lek?
Yeah, she is red. That's why everyone's going. This is Darth Talon. Like,
Yeah,
there's no other
okay.
way. And it's Darth Maul's apprentice. That's how George converted it.
Yeah.
Her. From the Legacy version, the Star Wars Legacy comics. No, the show before it was even released was greenlit for season 2, and the only other show to have done that was Andor.
Yeah.
That means that Lucasfilm, of course,
They were
Dave
confident,
Filoni.
yeah.
Dave Filoni is the co-president, and it's his show. But Disney at large is confident that this is going to be a banger, and so season 2 will be even better. I don't. We have the Ahsoka season 2 coming out anytime now,
Yeah.
so we'll see how that goes. But
No, I was just gonna. Again, I really do think they're trying to build up to a new type of. I don't want to say timeline.
no,
It's
they're
just
filling in gaps.
they're filling in gaps.
filling in gaps for
they're
what they
trying to
can,
see
yeah.
how people feel about these fill-ins,
Yeah.
and then maybe project where the new state of that Skywalker saga is going to be. Again, we've been watching some content online. Honestly, this is content because it's generative AI stuff. It's short films, and while we were watching it, we were just talking about, it's good to have these little moments of stories in the universe that they can build on that is away from the Skywalker saga. Because I obviously they want to keep to the characters everyone knows, and they don't really want to take risks on going and exploring these new types of planets or whatever. And it does kind of show me the fear of the studio side to really explore new cities, new factions, new whatever, and just add on to what's already there for you to explore. And it probably shouldn't even cost that much. It's just like these little moments in time, little shorts, little shows of watching these different factions and people and huts or whatever. So I right now I'm just happy that we get to explore the syndicates and explore the criminal elements of Maul.
We open up for Shadows of the Empire if we do that. I'm
Possibly too.
still fucking holding out for Shadows of the Empire of some form. It doesn't have to be like word for word, scene for scene, but I mean that was a whole fucking vibe back in the 90s with Nintendo 64 at its prime. So
Well, as they work on this side, right, then they're also working on obviously Mandalorian and Grogu,
Yeah.
which is after Rise of Sky. Excuse me, after Empire's. After
Return of the Jedi.
after Return of the Jedi, dude, I'm sorry, I need coffee.
It's all right.
All right. After Return of the Jedi. So they're rebuilding up with Ahsoka and getting everything together, and then starting to plan Ahsoka season 2, and then getting us ready for Starfighter, which is also 5 years after Rise of Skywalker. So again, they're trying to build new elements out of this. I am just curious where it's all heading, though. And maybe they are taking advice from everyone that's been criticizing, like, hey, we build these new pockets, but it's like, what are we building to exactly?
I'm gonna
I think people need to kind of know that answer eventually.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, what are we building to?
I think I'm reminded of that don't ask me why. My brain is funky sometimes. There's that commercial of the little girl having tacos with her family. It's hard shell and soft shell, and then she goes, "Why can't we have both?" I think that's what this is. I think Disney for the longest time, or at least the way that they wanted to take their marketing. I understand again the concept of wanting to broaden your audience, bring in people who traditionally wouldn't be interested in Star Wars. I'm not saying it's women. I'm saying just in general, even for men that are not that interested in Star Wars, or who they perceive minorities that they won't be interested in Star Wars, but now they can be, which George Lucas never focused on as this hitting the right notes for minorities or for men or for women. He just focused on, does my writing reflect something within the people watching as a character element that they can relate to and
Right.
draw them in. Hence, Leia being a hero, she doesn't have to wear pants, but she is the hero.
Right.
She is the people bringing them in. Anyway,
There's a lot of great Master Jedi that are women,
Disney had their lion's share of responsibility, thinking that they can somehow convince the fans, both old and new, that with their sequel trilogy, I can't fucking say this without laughing, that their sequel trilogy would be greater than George Lucas's work and make us forget about it. It's impossible. That's never going to happen. So they tried to have their cake and eat it too. I'm getting to my point now. Sorry. They tried to have their cake and eat it too. It didn't work. 13 years. Some of the games were cool. I've been replaying Battlefront 2, the campaign.
Right.
Solid game. I don't know why we don't have
enjoyed that quite a
Battlefront
bit,
3.
actually.
I can imagine why. Jedi Fallen Order, that third, I think,
It's good.
final
They're going to
game is
start going into
coming up.
production soon. Yeah. I think.
Fantastic. But they've learned, I hope they've learned with Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen Brennan, I think is his co-president.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Which I don't remember everything about her background, but I
play it
remember
up.
hearing that. Yeah, I remember hearing that she is like absolutely a Star Wars fan, absolutely knows her shit. She helped Dave Filoni get some of these shows greenlit, if I'm not mistaken, on the character that I'm thinking, a person I'm thinking of. Mara Jade, I think, is their move. I think if people remember last year, Disney does not invest. I don't know how much it costs to make some of these toys and these figures from the EU, right? Every so often they'll bring out something of the EU. So like figures. Mara Jade is a name that keeps coming up. Disney last year for May the 4th, and we're coming up on that now, they released the Legacy Edition of Mara Jade Skywalker's lightsabers. The full edition lightsabers,
Right.
like $300, $400 for a set, right?
That's cool.
Now they've released her Funkos.
Oh, okay.
They've released toys, Black Series toys. Disney does not do anything, in my experience, does not do anything without some sort of intention, like trying to gauge what is the level of interest within the fandom, particularly the old ones, particularly the ones in our generation, if you still remember them. And see, how much of these figures, what are the sales going to be like on these figures for a legacy character that there is no media for anymore. There's no film, comic, none of that.
This is
You
all-
have to go look for it.
Yeah.
You have to know who
This
she
is
is.
novel and comic.
And especially for a Funko Pop, right? That company was going out of business. Why would they bother with a legacy character if there wasn't a fan base? Amy Adams
Right.
is coming up in the Star Wars Starfighter
Yeah.
movie. The speculation, and it's not mine, I would love it to be true, so don't
This is just rumor.
believe me, right? I am hoping that they make her character the genuine Mara Jade. It would be a little roughshod in terms of, the Luke not knowing his kid or not acknowledging his wife in the sequel trilogy. It would help, I think, do two things. Somewhat make the sequel trilogy more palatable, okay? Because the saying is always all roads lead to the sequel trilogy.
Right.
But to move past it, you do need that legacy, that Skywalker legacy.
They're
that,
tying it in
that
anyway.
family.
You gotta
right.
have to find a way to do it.
So if they're bringing Darth Talon into it, they may be setting up the sequel trilogy to be Mara Jade, Luke's wife and son, I'm assuming, against Darth Talon, essentially a shadow from the past. It's the future meeting the past.
How much time is between between Force Awakens and Return of the Jedi. How much time passed between them?
Luke was 16, 17 during Force Unleashed?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Oh, Force Awakens. That's
Yeah, so he's like
25. No, Force Awakens. Yeah, 25 years after Return of the Jedi.
Starfighter is supposed to be 5 years after
Yeah.
Return of Skywalker. Yeah. And so I'm just curious in terms of age.
She's
like,
hitting the age.
Is she?
Yeah, she is. She
How old is Amy Adams?
To the character that she would be playing. They can always age her up if anything.
Oh, I guess they could age her up.
But if I remember correctly, she is, I think, within a 5-year age gap of what Luke would have been when he died.
She does not look it at all.
No, she doesn't, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
That means that you can keep her on for another 3-4. I don't know how long, but if you really want, again, I'm going to say this for the Disney fans that focus on some things more than others. If you really want a strong female character, that is one hell of a character to bring out. Mara Jade versus Darth Talon.
Yeah.
You'll have two fantastic female characters in the realm of Star Wars that are just that. They're
I guess
fantastic
everyone is
characters.
just really just worried about how they handle it.
Yeah.
And so maybe with this,
that's another
whatever,
issue.
that's one of the biggest issues is people just do not know how this can be handled.
Jangling, where are my keys?
Whatever happens
It's
for this
just
Maul series, right? And if this Davin ends up being Darth Talon, she would, I guess, be around that same age too. She'd be around 60 or so.
Yeah.
Around the time for Starfighter.
think
I don't know.
Was in her 50s.
Yeah,
I
she's
can
in her
always
50s.
Google
No,
it,
she's like, I think she's like her late 40s.
Because I think, yeah. Anyway.
Again, it's just about timeline and where we're going, where we're building to. Because I know, because now it's just kind of like lumping in here and there. And the hardcore Star Wars fans, they're keeping track of everything, obviously. But as a audience, you're trying to bring back excitement towards, like, hey, to come back into theaters and watch these things and watch all these projects. I think it's kind of like phase 4 of Marvel, where everyone's just kind of not sure where the hell are we headed or where are we
Phase
going.
4 and 5.
Are we still with Kang? Are we not? It's just like, what are we doing with Star Wars again? Are we staying on before the Battle of Yavin? Are we going after Rise of Skywalker? Are we like, so Talon eventually will end up with, like, I think people just need kind of a little bit of clarity on where we're going, because you're also trying to not bring in the older fans. You're trying to get the new young fans to be excited about Star Wars, because from what a lot of people are hearing, these young fans are not interested in Star Wars right now.
No.
They're interested in like
Fortnite.
maybe Dune, Fortnite.
Dune, yeah. Dune,
Just because of the Mohadi.
somewhat, yeah. No, the meme culture is a thing.
So I don't see much of the meme culture happening around Star Wars other than to make fun of it.
No.
And it's not really good branding for Star Wars. It's good to have like some great epic moments that people can take and make a meme out of it. But as far as like young audiences that you're trying to capture and actually market towards, I don't really see them kind of making it as close to heart as we did when we grew up. So again, I just kind of want a little bit of clarity on there. And I'm enjoying these new projects, like Maul specifically. That's the only one I was really most interested in.
Yeah.
And I guess we can start actually going into Mandalorian and Grogu.